What's up, y'all? It's Christy.
I'm Courtney.
And I'm Rashana, and we are the 1000 Club. I almost forgot our intro, y'all, because we haven't actually recorded on our normal schedule in a while because we just been so ahead of schedule. Look at us, overachievers. Thank you to everyone who is joining in and tuning in, listening, or watching us today for our 15th episode, y'all. We are 15 episodes in. We drop episodes every single Thursday. You can listen to us on Apple, Spotify, and Anchor, and then you can watch us on YouTube and now Facebook. And so we're excited to have you all here today joining the 1000 Club. We are just three friends with three different perspectives that decided to come together and bring y'all into our conversations, our group chats, our lives, and we hope y'all like it.
Yes. So normally we do, I'm sorry guys, I was cracking up because I was trying to find my phone, but it's sitting on the damn computer. I was looking at it while I was scourging for my phone on the couch. But anyway,
okay.
Usually we do a check-in, but since we've had a lot going on, this whole episode is going to be a check-in with us. So y'all are going to get a little bit more in tune with what we have going on, what we've been doing, and get to know a little bit more about us. So ladies, since we are winding down, does anyone have any wine in their cup or something to drink in their cup? What y'all got?
It looks like you got wine. What you got?
I got a little bit of wine. This is all the wine I got. In the house. It's a Merlot blend from the corner liquor store.
Oh, and what you got on a robe?
No, I got on the Amazon. Shout out to Amazon for this little fleece hoodie that I be wearing.
Oh, it's a fleece hoodie in April.
Nice.
Mouse.
I love it. It looks real lavish though. I thought it was like a little,
It does look like
a little robe with a wine.
I like that color too. It looks real luxurious.
Yes. I think it's the color. I think the color gives that look.
Yes. The color and the material. It's cute.
Gracias. Thank you. Savage Life, what you got in your cup?
I just have water with some ice. I did a little bit much this past weekend. Lots of wine, lots of liquor. So I am taking a break. Yes.
Okay. And
Savage Life. I have on my hashtag Savage Life shirt. My good friend Imani made it. And Savage Life is my last name. And that was our hashtag for our wedding. And we are coming up on 2 years next month. So yeah.
That's crazy. That happened so fast.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe because 2020, just I think everyone's acting like 2020 didn't happen, but I feel like that 2 years came up so fast. Congratulations.
Thank you. This year is going by fast. I can't even believe that it's April. I'm like, where has time gone?
Right.
I'm not gonna lie, I'm happy the weather is at least getting better. I'm like, yes, we can rush through winter, okay? But I need all of my heat, okay? I need to go just like the DMV. I need to go straight through September. I need that extended heat that, even can go into October because we just been, locked up and yeah.
Yes,
we've been locked up.
The streets is calling.
Not the streets is calling. What you got in your cup?
I'm gonna be picking her up though.
Yes. Look, hot girl summer, but after brunch, my husband's picking me up. Okay.
That's right.
I love it. What you got? You got some in your cup, fancy pants?
I do actually. So since this is a wind down, I love a good theme. I wanted to make sure that I have my wine and I like to dress my wine up. This is a Chardonnay. Shout out to Cooper Hawk. They are not paying me for this ad, but I am a part of their wine club. I'm not even sure how I got involved with the wine club. Oh, trying to save some coins actually, um, on some wine. And I just haven't canceled it. And I'm surprised because I thought I was going to cancel it after a couple months and I haven't. And that's surprising because I'm not even a wine drinker. Um, I'm not an alcohol. I do like alcohol. I drink alcohol, but I'm really only a social drinker. I rarely drink on my own. So, the wine is here for when people come and you want a nice glass of wine, sure. So this is the Chardonnay that I'm drinking, dressed with some fresh berries. So I have blueberry, raspberry, and then a nice little mango slice to give it a little tropical feel.
Yeah.
Well, cheers to that. Cheers
Yes.
to that. Clink, clink. Yes, yes.
I
Clink,
want to
clink.
say, speaking of tropical, I am loving those pictures in your background.
Thank you. And y'all know I'm gonna tell the world about this story, right?
We could not wait to tell the world about
Yes.
this story.
Yes. So, in true fashion, right, with your friends, sometimes you're gonna buy something new, you're gonna try something new, you're gonna do something new, and you show your friends like, hey y'all, like this is kind of what I'm thinking. So I did that with these lovely two ladies here, and they were just not super excited about this idea that I had. Granted, I showed them like a Pinterest, not a Pinterest, like something that I had put on Canva where I tried to size it correctly. And they were both just like, okay, but you already know, your friends. So, like when a okay is like a, okay, yeah, I like that. And an okay is like, we gonna see, like, or like, I don't really like it, but do you, girl, right? So I was not feeling the enthusiasm, but I knew, I knew, I knew, I knew. So this is for everyone out there. When you want to do something, sometimes you just have to like try it. It's good to get feedback from your friends, or your family members, whoever it is that you confide in. But sometimes you just got to try it because if it doesn't work out, so what? They're frames or whatever it is, you can just try something new. So I'm very happy with the outcome. This is my flower collage wall. And all of the flowers are pictures that I've taken myself as I have traveled through various parts of, I guess, Latin America and the Caribbean. And so I wanted something that reflected the tropics, which is, as you can see, the color. The color of my accent wall, that is the theme. Even my goddaughter who came this past Sunday for Easter, she was like, oh, you got kind of like a beach vibe, seashell vibe going on. God, mommy, I like that. I like that. And she does talk just like this. Both her and her mom and I, we both talk with our hands. So she got that very, very real. So yeah, so thank you. Thank you, thank you. This is part of my home decor, and you'll be able to see more at the pink toolkit on Instagram.
Plug.
Yes.
Always.
So, ladies, since this is a check-in with us, let's talk a little bit about what we've got going on, or what we've been up to this year, or even this past month. Christy, I know you said you had a good weekend. How was your weekend? What's been going on with you? What TV shows are you watching? Talk to us. Give us.
Where do I start? Yeah, so I just came back from New York this past Saturday, this past weekend. I spent a few days there celebrating the husband's birthday. Um, yes, had a good time. I think the highlight was we went to a dinner and burlesque show, and Kane Lit was there. She came through. And it was good. The food was really good. It was a 3-course dinner. The drinks were really good. They had a drink with, it was Hennessy, mint, and something else, and I can't remember.
Something else with an H, but I can't think of what it is right now.
Wish I could remember. It was really good. I'm gonna have to find it so I can recreate it. And I was a little hesitant about it at first, but I was like, you know what? Let me just go ahead and try it. Why not? And it was good. The show was really nice. It gave me like the kind of like the vibe as far as like the setting kind of gave me like 20s burlesque, but they had like current music. So it was really cool. There was like a fire thrower, there was an airless. It was nice. It was a good show. That was a highlight. Ate some good food, went to one restaurant. I cannot pronounce the name of it. I can't. I didn't even take any pictures, so I can't even post like pictures. But we went to one restaurant, and I think I can't remember.
Where
Little
was it?
I think it's Little Italy.
Little Italy.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
not far from Soho. It supposedly has one of the best wine lists in the city. They have like a 60-page wine list, and they have on the menu they have a mystery wine where you order the wine, they bring it, and they bring you out a card where you guess the type of wine, the region that it's from, and the dollar amount. And the rules are it's a bottle of wine that is less than $100. That's all they tell you. Of course, I didn't get it right because I am not a wine connoisseur. I am not a sommelier. I'm not an aspiring sommelier. I just like to drink wine from time to time. But the waiter said that I was in the right flavor profile, so that made me feel good. But I was wrong. So it was cool. So it's a cool experience. They have small plates, so I mean, you probably will have to go get something to eat afterwards. But it was cool. So yeah, did that. What I am watching right now, I have watched.
Okay, before you go on, let me tell everyone who's listening. When you go out to eat with the Savages, you are going to go to a very nice restaurant, okay?
Like I said, they are auntie and uncle. Like, adopt me, please.
They know how to eat very well, okay? So just FYI, if you ever need some restaurant tips or some places to go, because I didn't even know what a Michelin star restaurant was until I started dining with Savage.
No, I didn't know that until I met my husband. So if you ask me, I am going to ask him and relay that back to you. He is very into a good dining experience, which has definitely um, broadened my horizons when it comes to food. So yeah, if you ever traveling somewhere, he can tell you where to go. Definitely. If you I don't know if I posted a lot about our Vegas trip, but I think I talked about it on the podcast. We went to a lot of very good restaurants, top restaurants. So yeah, would have never had that experience probably if it was not for him, because I don't really think of food when I think of Vegas. So yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I have a question for you. So you said that he introduced you to fine dining.
Mhm.
So he upgraded you in that aspect
Definitely
of
did.
the finer things in life. How would you say that as you all are coming up on 2 years, like what have you introduced him to?
Mm.
That's a good question. I don't know. That he's the type of person that pretty much knows everything.
No, you said something else this weekend.
What did I
What'd
say?
she say?
She said he does the dinner, she does the accommodation.
Oh, yes, yes, yes. Thank you for reminding me. Okay, so he's not into like the lodging. So when we plan a trip, I am going to normally be the one that gets the lodging because he could stay anywhere. I cannot. So I have requirements for where I stay. I
Right.
mean, I'm not the bougiest of bougie when it comes to it. Like, it don't have to be like no 5-star hotel, but it has to be a nice hotel. So I am normally the one that gets the lodging. So I guess maybe I've introduced him into nicer hotel accommodations, and
Yes.
care of the dining experiences. So we balance each other out in that way. Thanks for reminding me, Courtney.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, no shade. You can't go to, a 5-star restaurant and bring your to go plate back to a Holiday Inn. That just don't really.
Which Holiday Inn, nothing wrong with Holiday Inn, but
I'm not saying nothing's wrong with
yeah,
Holiday Inn,
but no,
but
I
the
feel
fact is that Holiday Inn is not 5-star.
But
right.
okay, but we can't forget that Chingy made the Holiday Inn lit, okay? Because before that,
Before that, I was staying at the Holiday Inn. Okay, the ushers love them a little Holiday Inn.
He made it a little bit more like cool, I think.
Well, him, but then remember, Kels had that song with Nick Cannon. Baby, won't you come to my hotel? And at the end, they say something about the Holiday Inn, um,
Oh, hotel, motel.
hotel, motel. Oh, wait, that's going back to original hip hop. Hotel, motel, Holiday Inn. Say
Oh, no, baby, was that from another song? I think it was
they
like,
did, but I know the song you're talking about. It's at the song where they're in the lobby. Something about the lobby.
uh-huh, uh-huh.
Who is this?
See it. It's like move your body like a snake. Oh, you know what? Let me not, because you know what? Y'all are not about to cancel 1000 Club because we out here trying to figure out this man's songs. Okay.
Um,
Wait, since we're on songs though, did you
mhm.
guys watch the verses?
Yes,
Yes, yes.
yes. I stayed up. I mean, that I lived. I absolutely lived. I don't actually know if we talked about this on the podcast, but I am very much an old soul. I don't know much like new music. And Courtney continues to remind me that most of the songs that I like that are new are sampled from something in the past. I'm like, oh no, I like that new little song. And she's like, you don't even know what they're saying. You just like it because of the beat. And chances are that's true. Um, I lived. I would say I love Earth, Wind and Fire. I grew up on the Isleys though. Like my mom loves her some Isleys. Um, you know, yeah. So it was perfect. And I see people on Facebook, they're saying that what would have been a better versus who, Earth, Wind and Fire could have gone up against, or who the Isley brothers could have gone up against. And my thought about
Who?
that is, well, they were saying like Earth, Wind and Fire and Frankie Beverly and Maze, or Maze and Frankie Beverly. Whatever day it's on with them, or the Isley Brothers and the OJ's. And I understand what they're talking about in terms of genre, but in terms of this versus was not about like who matches up in terms of style. This was about matchup in terms of impact, catalog. You know what I mean? And both of these groups have a very dense catalog. Both of these groups have been sampled and continue to be sampled in the music that we listen to today. So this was really more so about like longevity and reach. Not saying that the OJs and Frankie Beverly don't have longevity and reach, but what I am saying is that they brought these two together in that way. And I actually liked the fact that they were complementary versus like some similar, because then in that sense I lost track of like what round we were on. I lost track of who I thought was winning. Like for this was really, and they say it all the time, versus is not really like a this versus that. It's really a celebration. But I think taking that element of you all kind of like sound the same, or I put you two in the same category, really made it a celebration. I mean, I was up dancing all night. I had to take a shower afterwards. I like really like I almost wanted to cry after this verse. This is hands down my favorite one, because these men are in their 80s, when we think about that. And who knows, like if we'll make it to Essence to see them on the stage again, or if they'll tour again, so just to be able to know that we got the opportunity to watch them live, like to have that, to connect my mom's generation, who's a baby boomer, to me, who's a millennial. There's a whole generation in between. Like it was beautiful. It was beautiful. So my point of saying that was, yes, anybody could have gone up against anybody. But if you had the chance to watch that, I just don't understand how that's even still a question, or even a conversation, because there's after that experience, I can't even imagine it being no other way. I can't imagine what it would have been like if it was Frankly Bear. I can't imagine what it would have been like if it was OJ's. Like all I know is that Earth, Wind and Fire, Ozzy Brothers were live during my lifetime on Instagram Live, okay? And it was an amazing experience. Period.
Yeah, I put on our Insta stories, our 1000 Club Life page on Instagram stories, that it was like a true gift. Like this was truly something that, you know, I think I don't know that we would have gotten this if it wasn't for verses, like with both of them on the stage, like that, and just the conversation and that moment. I don't think we would have had in any other way. So it was just a true gift. I am more so into the Isley Brothers, mainly because so I'm like an old soul in reverse. I feel like I was an older soul when I was younger, and then I got like younger over time.
Yes, come on,
So,
Benjamin Button. Was that Benjamin Button? Or
uh-huh.
Benjamin? Yes, okay.
And so I think initially, like I heard the Isley Brothers more so, I think my parents probably played them. My mom would listen to like the oldies but goodies stations. So I would hear them on there. But then, I also knew Mr. Biggs. And so I was introduced to Ron Isley through that. And then I think eventually through that, I started getting more into like the Isley Brothers. And it was just it's just such a good moment. I watched it with my husband and I were at my in-laws house for Easter. And so it
Oh,
was just like that was a special moment just to watch from, with them because they were, they grew up in that time period and they could remember when they first heard this song. Earth, Wind, and Fire started in Chicago. So, they could remember songs that were popular in Chicago that may have not been like worldwide known. So it was just a special moment. Ron Isley, I mean, Sugar Daddy.
Come through.
Yeah.
Okay.
He was looking good. I think he's 79. He
mm-hmm.
looks really good. It's funny because a lot of people didn't even recognize who he was initially. And I
I
know
was trying to figure out how people didn't know that because my aunt was like, "Where is Ron?" I'm like, "He's right
he's right
there." Like she was
there.
like, "No, that's not him," and I was like, "That's definitely Ron Isley. Like that looks like him. He just got he to me always had Zaddy vibes though.
He was very handsome when he was younger, but I don't he
I
got
don't
a
know
little
about Harry now.
something he got a little extra flavor to him now. It's something different because I don't maybe it's
He
also
has swag. He has swag. I
He
will agree.
definitely.
yes, he definitely does. But I think he's always had it. But I think now that I'm older, I look at him in that way. When I was younger, I definitely wasn't like, yes, like, but yeah, it was just it was a true gift to the world on Easter Sunday, especially when a lot of families and people gathering together, hopefully safely. It was a special moment. I think it will by far be the best verses yet. I can't think of another one that will top that. Um, so yeah.
Yeah.
I
I
said they need to put it on DVD.
what?
I said they need to put it on DVD
Or like
because
yeah,
it
allow
started
people to
so.
purchase it like some on some streaming like Apple Music or whatever.
Yeah, yeah. They stopped working with Apple Music. Now they're with Triller app, but I hope that it can do something like that because for those of us on the East Coast, 8 o'clock was just like too late.
Mm,
And like I had my mom watching it with us, but she was really frustrated in the beginning because they weren't playing the songs out in their entirety.
mhm,
But I think she would have definitely appreciated that second round, watching them actually like perform and all of that. And so, but by the time that didn't come on until about 10 o'clock, and you talking about on a Sunday night for those of us that are here on the East Coast. And so I hope that they do decide to come out with some sort of way, like commemorative. Because even me, like I would even want, like, I know they do sell shirts, and they have done that, but I would even want like a shirt, that says like I was there, for that experience and something that my mom could have so she could watch it later. Because she's not on Instagram.
it's funny because my mom is, and I sent it to her. She had never watched the verses, didn't even hear a verses, but I had sent it to her, and she caught the second half, and she was like, "Oh, it was really good. I really enjoyed it." But she was like, "It was just too long. Like it was getting late. I had to like get off."
I fell asleep. I went to sleep at 11 o'clock. I didn't even stay up for the whole thing because I was like, I'm tired. It was amazing. I thoroughly enjoyed the 3 hours that I was there. But I did go to sleep. I do think I wish this verses would have been a little bit earlier in the day because I feel like then we could have really just enjoyed the verses. We could have partied. I don't know why they stopped doing it on Saturdays, especially at the 8 o'clock time, because Saturdays just work better, at least for the East Coasters, because we didn't have to do too much the next day. We didn't have to get up and go to work. We could actually party. But it was really, really nice. I always download the Apple Music always has a cheat sheet playlist. So I always download the cheat sheet playlist the next day. And it was nice. It was really, really nice. And my mom watched it on Instagram too. And she was sending me messages like, this is real music. And I was like, all right, lady, I got it.
I think, you know what? I think it was Steve Harvey that made a good point. Like, they don't play slow songs in the club. I was like, well, they play them, but at the end, whenever it's time to go, like they don't play
If
slow
that,
songs. Yeah, if at that. And so, like back in the day, like you did have that time to really like talk to a guy and get all like romantic and everything. And
I don't
now,
think I've ever heard a slow song played in the club. Now that you said that.
I
I
think
think
I've
when I
only
was in
had,
college,
you
when I
know,
was in
yeah.
college, we definitely had like
No,
a,
not a
had
party.
like,
Not a party, a club. You're talking about a club, like a club.
Oh yeah.
no, not a college party. And college, y'all didn't go to clubs, like actual clubs.
Yeah, but I don't think I ever heard a slow song.
No, I
Oh,
did
so
hear.
so in college in Alabama, yes, like when you
Yeah.
went to the club,
You
they
know,
would always have a section where they would slow it down. And that's probably the last time that I remember. And I mean, growing up, I went to a lot more like Caribbean parties. And even at Caribbean parties, they would have a part where you could slow it down so you could talk to your girl. But I don't know if who was that? I wanted a 30th birthday party, and I was gonna have like a 89 party, and I'm still gonna do that at some point. But one of the requests in my DJ list was that we do have that slow it down part. And I wanted, the DJ to say, all right, fellas, make your way to the dance floor, grab your lady, just so you can have that moment, because we don't have that. Now we don't dance, period. So I'm not even sure if you had a slow song, if you had a slow section, I feel like people would just be sitting around looking awkward, because nobody even dances at parties no more. I can't remember the last time I went to a party, which is why I only go to Soca Fets, FYI. Because I can't remember the last time I went to like an American party and a man was like, hey, you want to dance?
Yeah, I don't think I can't, outside of college, I rarely remember any parties where you actually dance, especially now in New York. I feel like when I go to the clubs, like there's dancing, but it's not, excuse me, it's not like, it's kind of like a lot of dances that happen in the club, not dancing, if that makes sense. So yeah, I don't think I really be seeing that. So that's interesting, but it would
I
be
was
nice.
gonna say, like college, yes, I do remember slow songs at the end. And like I said, I feel like it was just to get people up out the door. But the song that always sticks
Oh.
out for me is Lovers and Friends. Like I feel like they will always play that.
Always. Yes. Yes. Yes.
In Alabama, they used to play to get you out the door. They always played yeah, we're moving on now. Like that was always the song they played. And when that came on, you knew like, okay, time to go, lights on.
In Virginia, they always played slow song was like Lovers and Friends, but Trey songs dominated the slow song section in Virginia. Like
I could see, yeah, I could see
That
that.
and Plies and T-Pain. And then we also did play like, it would not be we would also play like an Isley, like Between the Sheets too. Like we were very, very old school at Tuskegee University, the illustrious pride of the Swift South.
moving on. So
Can I just say, just another thing that I watched this past weekend was Mahalia that came on Lifetime about
Mm-hmm.
Mahalia Jackson. And that was
about who?
Mahalia Jackson, the
Jackson.
gospel singer.
Okay.
So that was really good. Danielle Brooks from Orange is the New Black played her. She has a voice on her, okay? Like
Yeah.
she can sing. She can sing. I know she's been in a Broadway play. I don't remember which one, but
She did Color Purple. She was really good in that. I got to see her in that.
okay, yeah, she's very talented. She played that role so well. The movie, I didn't really know that much about Mahalia Jackson, so kind of let me in a little bit more into her life. She
Mhm.
also lived in Chicago. I feel like there's so much history in Chicago.
Yeah.
But
That's
I,
the south of the north, right? Isn't
yeah,
that what they used to call it?
yeah,
Like most people when they during the Great Migration,
mhm,
a lot of people in the South they went to Chicago.
yeah, yeah. But I love the fact that, like I said, I didn't really know a lot about her. Um, and she had quite a few relationships. One of them seemed to be really troubled, or marriages, should I say. One of them seemed to be really troubled. But I liked how they showed um, her desire for wanting to have kids, but then she had to get a hysterectomy. And I saw an article headline, because I did not read it, but I saw an article headline that Daniel Brooks really wanted to include that in there because,
Yeah.
um, you know, I think I think we hear a lot about now today we hear a lot about women's struggles with fertility um and just especially with black women and the struggles around like um fertility and maternal health. But like to know that she dealt with that at that time. I guess this was maybe in the 50s. That was pretty impactful to include that in the film and to know that about her story. So yeah, I thought that was interesting. It was a very interesting movie. I think there are going to be some more movies coming out. I think like Queen Latifah and
Yeah.
someone is developing a movie. So I'd be interested to see more about her story because there's a lot more that that they didn't tell in the movie. But she has a very interesting story.
Hmm.
I
Yeah.
won this random book by her like several years ago. Not by her, about her. It's like a I don't know, I think it's like a mix between a children's book because it has like pictures and stuff. Um and I was like, "Oh, wow, this is interesting." Yeah. What's the movie on?
Lifetime.
Oh, like so like you said it's good. That's good too.
It was good. I mean, like I said, I felt
Okay.
like there's another movie on Lifetime that came out, and I was like, I don't know if it was the Clark sisters or whatever. Anyway, when I don't know about the people, it usually makes the movie better because I'm like, oh, that's interesting. So I don't know. It'd be interesting to get other people's thoughts about it. But I thought it was good. I mean, Danielle Brooks, her acting was impeccable. The other actresses in the movie were impeccable. So yeah, check it out. But like I said, I just thought, she had a very interesting story. I love that they did include the part about her having a hysterectomy and just being crushed by that because she really wanted children. She wanted to start a family with the man that she was with at the time. And I just feel like we don't really see that on the screen that often. So
The girl who played her, was she the girl who was in Lovecraft Country? No.
Mm-mm. That's
Okay, because I also saw an article with the girl who was in Lovecraft Country, and they talked about a hysterectomy being a part of the show. So I was wondering if that was the same thing. Maybe it's something completely different.
oh, maybe she was. But the girl who played Daniel Brooks played her, right?
mhm.
The girl in Lovecraft Country is
Oh, I missed that.
you talking about the sister in Lovecraft?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I forget her name. She's a African woman. Um
If it's who
I missed when Christy said Danielle Brooks. That's why I was asking.
yeah.
she may be in the movie. She may be one of the characters in the movie.
Oh, I'm going to watch that.
Yeah.
I don't have cable though, so I'm gonna have to find somebody's Lifetime login to use. But I think it's good. Miss Stay Lit, what's going on with you? Tell us a little bit about life in Rashana Land,
Oh, I forgot. What we talk about? Oh, what we did this weekend?
or just in general. What's going on with you?
Um what
What
did
you
I do this weekend? I don't think I really did anything. I already mentioned that I celebrated Easter with my goddaughter, which is a annual tradition, except last year. And so that was really exciting. And we got to take cute little pictures and just hang out, have a little girl time for a day. So that is always fun. and enlightening. I am gonna tell this story though. So I was like getting dressed, right? And I am looking through my drawer because I am looking for like my girdle panties. Because originally I was gonna wear like this kind of tighter dress, and you want everything to be smooth and tucked together, held together. And my goddaughter is very I want to say the word is clingy, right? But I feel like all children are clingy. So, but she's she is my like physical touch baby. She is like right up under you, kind of clingy, and she's very inquisitive. And so I was not even paying attention because like I'm on this side of my drawer, like where the heck is like the girdle that I'm looking for. And next thing I know, she's like, oh god, mommy, what is this? And she's like flinging my vibrator. And I wanted to laugh so hard, but I had to try to hold it together because I wanted it to, I wanted to be a moment where I could just like tell her, but at the same time, like she's 11, by the way. So I wanted to be a moment where I could talk to her about it, but then I also wanted to be a moment where she sort of understood like that you have to have boundaries. Like while it's okay to be inquisitive and look at things, like you can't, like you also have to ask permission to kind of go through people's things, right? And so I was able to hold it together because like she's like flinging, the one of the ones it's just like it just like flings back and forth. It's like the jelly kind of one. And so it was just,
wait, I need to send a link for that one. I need to see what that one.
I have to remember where I got it from. So that's also something in addition to like floral pictures. I also like when I go new places, I don't know, I like to see what their sex store looks like and what they have. And so I collect like, different little nuggets and things from from everywhere I travel. And so yeah, so I just told her, I was like, that's an adult toy, and I doubt you want to like play with it and touch it. And so she was like, oh, okay. And she was like, I just thought it was a toy. I'm like, it is a toy, but it's an adult toy. So we didn't have the full conversation about how it's used, anything like that. But I just, it took me back to a moment of what's the Tyler Perry movie with Shamar Moore? Which one was that? Is that like which
I think
was
it's
The
the
one where she divorces the husband and then she goes to get with him.
she meets him on the bus or something like that?
family reunion.
Diary of a Mad. Is that the Diary of a Mad Black Woman?
No, that one's with old girl that I could see her face from Set It Off.
That is her. She meets Shamar Moore. That's the girl who meets Shamar Moore.
Oh, she does?
Yeah.
That's a nice movie. I thought Diary of a Mad Black Woman was T.D. Jakes.
And she has to help him because he ends up getting in the wheelchair because he got shot.
No, that is Diary of a Mad Black Woman, but she meets Shamar Moore in that movie too.
Yeah,
No,
because
this movie is when they say, "Oh,
he drives
okay,
the U-Haul truck, and he got the braids with the bandana."
oh, okay,
That's one of the few Tyler Perry movies I've actually seen.
okay." So, yeah, so when that movie came out, if you remember, when she's unpacking her clothes, there's like a vibrator, something like falls out of her bag or something, and the mom is like, "Ooh," And I remember I saw that movie with my grandmother, and her asking me like, "What is that?" She she went in the movie.
Wow.
What is that? And when I think back on it, I realized that it's not that she didn't know. I think she was really just asking me to see like if I knew what it was. And I told her, I was like, it's a vibrator. And she was like, and then she goes, and what is that? And I was like, it's something, women use. So I just thought about that moment, and I just thought about how, my goddaughter is probably going to, remember that moment when she does get of age, or when she starts looking at things, she's going to remember like, oh yeah, I remember these things at Godmommy's house. Like, and that, she has like a whole bag, and,
I'm sure she will.
Yeah, so that was so funny, and I was telling her mom about it, and we were just cracking up, and I was like, "Girl, I tried so hard not to laugh." She was like, "I probably would have laughed in her face." And I was like, "Yeah, it was pretty difficult not to laugh um at that." Yeah, so that is one of the things that that happened this weekend, which is pretty cool. As you all see, I kind of finished decorating, or not finished, but at least for now, I'm like, good. There's a few things that I have to touch up, different things I want to do, but I probably won't do those until like the late summer. So I'm excited about that. Um, yeah, you can follow different things that I do in terms of my home ownership journey, and also just gathering resource and information about property ownership in general at the pink toolkit, or you can search the pink toolkit on Instagram. So that has been exciting. And oh, I think by the time this releases, for Vocal Action, which has two extensions, we did our first Converse series, which is a 4-part series about Black women in the workplace.
Yeah.
Yep. So I finished that last week. So now I'm just getting the, I guess, like the flyers, you know what I mean, for each episode or whatever, the promotional stuff. So I can release that on YouTube and Facebook. So I'm really excited about the conversations. I'm hoping to continue those conversations. And primarily, this was about Black women in the workplace, but my conversations or my conversaries are gonna center around things that are Black, period. So we'll be talking about mental health and wellness. We'll be talking about colorism. We'll be talking about, who is Black and who is not. We had a bit of that conversation on the first episode here. When we think about Black, what is who can sell? Who is Black History Month about? That's another topic that I have. Because I have certain thoughts, but I understand that it started as like Negro History Month, which is primarily about African Americans. So we talk about that, and then I'm also going to, these are just some ideas that I have. So if anyone has ideas, please drop them in the chat below. You can DM at Vocal Action LLC. That's VOCALACTION LLC. You can DM us on Instagram. Oh, we're also going to be continuing a conversation that I'm having tonight. So for those of you watching, you can go back and watch last week or 2 weeks ago, our first episode, or our first commencement segment on Historically Black Sense. We were talking about UNCF's National Alumni Council. And we're going to be, really having real talk, because I have questions. I'm going to have the vice president of membership there. And, my first question is, should we even be supporting the UNCF, understanding that they just had their first Black chair? And so we're going to really delve into that and what that means, because many people did not know, right? Many of us thought UNCF was a Black organization, but it is not. And I did know that, but I did not know that they've never had a Black board chair. But there's two sides to all of this. And so we're definitely going to be talking about that. And we're also going to be talking about Black giving, because all of us, the three of us, are HBCU alumni. That's ALUMNAE. For those of you all who don't know that. And, our level of giving is only 3 to 5%. So can't be too mad about other people giving the
Three,
other
five, is
3
it
to 5%.
5% for the UNCF or just for their university?
No, this for HBCU.
Oh,
So like HBCU graduates give back at 3 to 5%. So think about that. For all of you all listening that are HBCU graduates, and this is why, we know that universities lose accreditation. This is why we're so thankful to Beyonce, and all these other people that are donating to HBCUs, because to be real, and I mean, you all heard the stats, we ain't doing nothing. And that's problematic, but that also is reflective of, just some things we need to do better in as a community anyway,
Mm,
in terms of giving back. So,
mm.
so yeah, so that's really what I've been up to. Started a new not boot camp, training class. So, you know, I'll be
Body,
ready
yaddy,
for
yaddy.
Jamaica. Yes, I'll be ready for Jamaica. I registered for the for the vaccine. It has been a
Woo-hoo.
very hard. I don't know if I'm whoop whoop. But it has been
What
a
are your
very
reservations?
my reservations are I personally don't like medicine, period. Like I really take Tylenol. I have gotten the flu vaccine in the past when I worked in a shelter and it was mandatory. Even with my hair journey, I've talked about that here, why I'm going to see a trichologist because, it was a very hard decision for me to work with the dermatologist because the dermatologist is going to give you medicine. They're going to give you cortisone shots, like, so I'm just, and I'm very fearful of foreign things entering my body. And so that was probably my biggest fear, in terms of just like, is this something that is really necessary,
Mhm.
right? Like for me to take. Um, and ultimately it came down to it really just came down to I gotta trust God, really. Like there's
Mhm.
really nothing else that was convincing me. I know people are saying like, Black women helped to create the vaccine. Okay, like that was not fully helping me because as I was talking to my dad, I was telling him, just these movies that are coming out and just the history of what the government has done to Black people. In addition to these, like, we watched Judas and the Black Messiah, we watched Billie Holiday versus the FBI, whatever it was. And we see how they use Black people specifically, to infiltrate and to break us apart. So that doesn't help me. Um, what else were people saying? I don't know. Whatever else people were saying, nothing. People saying, "Oh, it's like the flu vaccine." I'm like, yeah, I ain't get that. You know what I mean? So it's just like everything. I'm just very fearful about foreign things. So I did register. They called me. They said I do qualify, but I guess I have to wait for another phone call to when an appointment is actually available. And my job just extended. DC just extended their vaccine um, availability to government employees. So I did register and I'm on a wait list for that. So ultimately, like I said, I have to trust in God. And while I know people personally who've gotten COVID, I know people personally who've gotten COVID and died. And I know people personally who've gotten COVID and lived. And I already have comorbidities, being that I have asthma, being that I am obese. And I don't want to be on that other end of the spectrum. So, and ultimately, like I really don't know, like I don't know what can go wrong. So I listened to Easter service and I'm just trusting God at this point. Like I prayed about it and
Amen. That's all you can do.
I
yes.
actually got my second shot last week
Mhm.
on Thursday. So I got both shots already. I did go through my job. State of New Jersey offered it to all employees. But I did tell my boss when I got the shot, this is not me volunteering to go back into the office. So just FYI, if that is a requirement, please take me off the list. Um, but yeah, I got the second shot. I didn't have too many side effects of it. I will say I did get the vaccination with a coworker who had COVID early on in 2020, and she definitely said that the side effects that she experienced was like a one compared to what she experienced when she had COVID. And she was very optimistic about it. So that made me feel a little better because I was a little nervous about the entire process. So, going with her was good. Um, so yeah, I'm on the other side of it. So that is that is good. I didn't have too many issues with that. And what did I do this weekend? I did see Christy this weekend. So that was nice. I did smoke my first cigar ever. And just shout out, and for anyone listening, don't smoke a cigar like you smoke weed, okay? Because because I pulled that thing way too hard, and I think I still have chest pains from that day. So don't do that. It was cool though. It was a good experience. It was my first time doing that. So check that off my list. What else did I do? Oh, the week before that, my mom came down. So it was nice to have some mother-daughter time. That was her first time coming down in like over a year. And we walked across the Brooklyn Bridge. We had
Walked
dinner.
all the way across this time?
We walked up and back.
Oh, good. So you actually that was your first time? Because I know you said that was like a bucket list thing for you.
That was my second time. That was actually my
okay.
Yeah. So she really enjoyed it. She took a lot of pictures. She had such a great time. Huh?
How many miles is it?
It is 1.4 miles one way.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah. So it's like what, almost 3 miles if you go up and across. So that was good. It was a lot of fun. My mother also taught me how to make cachupa that weekend. So, I made my first pot of cachupa, which is a Cape Verdean dish. It's a national Cape Verdean dish to the island. So that was really nice. And she ate 3 bowls. So I guess it came out really good.
My bowl in the freezer though?
Yes, there is some in the freezer.
Okay. That's, just want to pour that up.
There is some in the freezer. So that was nice. What else happened? Oh, I had my therapy appointment today, and Faye gathered my whole life. So she got me together as usual. And I will say, I think one of the things, I don't know if you guys watched the show Married at First Sight, but if anyone's listening who watches it, I always talk about the girl Paige on the show because I just feel so bad for her. But she said something that was like very triggering to me on one of the past episodes. And if you're watching, just a really quick recap, the guy that she marries, they're both very religious or faithful. I don't know if they're religious or they're very spiritual and faithful, but they both got married, and he ended up getting his ex-fiancee pregnant a couple of weeks before the show aired. And then he was like leaving Paige to go be with her. And then he came back and wanted to give it a shot with Paige, and then was leaving her, and then came back, and she let him.
Is this the guy who said he's not, I don't watch it, but is this the one who said he's not attracted to her or something?
Yes. He said he wasn't attracted to her, but then still proceeded to have sex with her. So
I mean, that's not surprising. Men can
do that. Yeah, that is true. Some women do that too.
Right. Mm-hmm.
A lot of men do that.
We ain't talking about them right now. So
okay. So she actually tried it again with him, and like she got a lot of backlash for continuously letting him back in and back in. And she said something on one of the shows that I was talking to Faye about today, amongst other things. And she said she thinks she fell in love with the idea of marriage and didn't realize the person she was marrying. So that was interesting because when I'm very open, so it's fine. When I talk about relationships, I tend to romanticize the relationship and not really like the person. So it was that was very triggering for me. And I had to talk to Faye about that. And we talked about a lot of other things, about how, me and running into the fire. That's a thing that I do. So I like to test myself by jumping into fire, knowing that I'm going to get burned, particularly in relationships. So we talked a lot about that today.
You told Faye we had that conversation?
I did tell Faye we had that conversation.
I feel like I know Faye, y'all. I'm sorry. I've never talked to Faye at all, but Faye, she's amazing. And I feel like I know her. I feel like
but one thing she said to me today that I definitely have to journal through is like, and I kind of like process this with her a little bit, is because I don't feel deserving of certain things, I tend to allow myself to be complacent or settle, because if you feel you're deserving, you have to take what that is, and that means greater than what you think you are willing to handle, or what you feel like is for you. So we talked about my fear of, if I feel I'm deserving, then I have to rise to the occasion of what that is. And it's easier sometimes to settle for trash, because with trash, you're still higher than the trash that you're settling for. But once you rise to that occasion, you have to meet that person where they are. So we talked a lot about that today. So she definitely got my whole life together.
Do you find that that feeling like is, I know you talked about like relationships specifically, but do you find that you see that in other aspects of your life?
I will say the deserving feeling, I definitely see that in other aspects of my life. Now, whether I feel like I settle in those areas, I don't necessarily think I settle as much as I have settled in the past in relationships.
Mm-hmm.
So that particular area is big for me. But one of the things she talked about is when you don't feel deserving, you allow yourself to self-harm by putting yourself in situations that, are going to make you feel bad. So talking about that and how that translates not just in relationships, but it translates into like jobs, it translates into
Mm-hmm.
friendships, it translates into day-to-day life. So she talked a lot about that, and told me, she was like, I just be waiting for you to tell me, get honest with me. And I was like, okay, I'm here. We're honest and we're open. And we're processing. So that was really good. And I think, I also posted on my Instagram page today on Stepping Into She is, when you show up to emotions, are you showing up as the little girl who needs protection or the grown woman who has experienced growth? So I think I've done a lot of in between, showing up as both. So I really have to stay focused on the growth so I can honor the little girl by continuously to show up as the grown woman. So, boom.
Yeah.
So, with that said, ladies, how are you guys? How have you guys been doing? I know we're in April of 2021. A lot of things have happened over the course of these couple of months. Let's just talk about how we're all feeling. What's going on. How we're navigating life, coping. Transitioning, whatever it is that's happening. How are we feeling so far? And anyone can go first.
Savage.
Oh, okay.
I'm feeling pretty good. I'm feeling a lot better than last year this time. I think hopefully everybody's feeling a lot better than last year this time. I'm feeling good. I'm feeling like, things are getting a little bit more like pre-COVID, just with like traveling more, have some trips planned for the summer. I'm excited about that. Um, just I was able to see, I think I've already shared, I went home last month, and so I was able to see a lot of my friends that I hadn't seen pre-COVID. So I'm feeling good. Like I'm feeling like I'm getting back to my pre-COVID self. Just with, like I said, just traveling, seeing family and friends, doing stuff really, not being cooped up in the house. Um, yeah, so mainly I'm just, I'm excited to get out there and do things, to explore more of Chicago, because last summer I wasn't really able to do that. The summer before that, that was my first summer here, and I really didn't get to do much. So I'm excited to explore more, especially as the weather is getting warmer. As far as like the year, honestly, I have just learned to just go with the flow. I would describe myself as a go with the flow person. But I think for all the things that I intended to do this year or wanted to do, I'm just kind of, there's still things that I want to do, but I think I'm just like I'm just remaining open. Um, just based off of some things that have happened. And just opportunities that have or have not happened, and just having like clear insight into certain situations. I'm just like, you know what? I'm just going to be open to whatever is going to happen this year, whether it comes to career, whether it comes to like in financial investments, just certain things like that, which I can't directly control. I'm just going to remain open. For the things that I can directly control, I think I feel like I've been doing a little bit better with like my eating habits a little bit, a lot better than last year. So I'm trying to continue to do better with that. For this month of April, I want to, I'm not going to say no sweets, but I want to definitely limit my sweets intake because I was overdoing it in March. So I want to do that. I want to become more active. So now that the weather is warming up, I might get, let me not say might, I'm gonna get outside more and like go walking. Yeah, I'm just gonna drink my water, lots of water, and mind my business. Yeah, but no, I'm feeling good. I mean, the year is not, like I said, what I expected so far, but I'm just like, whatever, like I'm just open to whatever God wants to bless me with at this point. So whatever He's delaying, I'm sure it's for my good. So I'm just gonna trust Him. He knows what He's doing. So yeah.
How are you? Because for everyone listening, the 1000 Club is a lifestyle. It's not just a podcast. Okay, we do this every day. So, how are you planning to live the 1000 lifestyle in April?
Oh wow. It's funny because I'm not traveling anywhere in April. I don't really have any plans for April. So I think what I'm gonna try to do, I'm gonna kind of focus on my health. Like I said, eating better, drinking my water. One of my friend Thomas, I saw him when I was at home. We were both talking about how we wanted to, live healthier lifestyles and lose some pounds. And so one of the things that he was saying that he was going to do, in which he like checks in with me to see if I'm doing it too, is drinking a gallon of water a day. I have not gotten up to the gallon yet, but I want to get up to that. Like I've come close. And then also working out twice a day. I haven't done that either. So that's one of the ways I want to actually start doing that in April. So I'm doing 1000 with, this H2O and the treadmill, or walking outside. I'm doing 1000. Listening to my body yaddy yaddy Megan Thee Stallion and whatever. And I want to say I want to try to, experience some new spots this month in Chicago, but I don't know that I will because I also kind of want to save money this month as well because I'm going to be doing a lot of traveling, like I said, in May, June, and July. So I kind of want to chill on my spending. So I just really being more focused um on my health. Yeah, so I'm gonna be 1000 with that, and I'll try to post some stuff so that can kind of hold me accountable.
Where you going in May, June, and July?
In May, I'm coming back home. I'm coming home for Mother's Day. Um, Going back to Vegas. June, I am going to.
Are you and your husband are going, or a
Mhm.
different group? Okay, that's
Yeah.
gonna be nice.
June, I am going to Puerto Vallarta for a friend's birthday. Then I'm coming back home for for Father's Day. Then in July, I am taking a trip. I'm not going to say where, because it's for a bachelorette party, and the
Oh,
bachelorette does not know where we are going. So yeah,
but she knows she's going on a trip.
yes,
Oh, okay.
yeah.
Nice.
So yeah, and so I'm going to be going to three locations that will have pools, that will have water, and I want to be looking good. I haven't had to wear a swimsuit since our honeymoon, which was 2 years ago. I haven't been to a beach in probably 3 years, so
Mm.
trying to be snatched, okay? And I got a little bit of time to get it together. So,
You could do it. You could do it. You could
yeah.
go hard.
I just want to go back to something that you all talked about earlier, since you talked about like libations and stuff. I think, and you all can tell me, I looked up the cocktail menu at Dwayne Park, and the Hennessy drink that they have is called the Chi Chi, which is
Yes.
Hennessy, mint, and passion fruit. Yeah.
Yes. Oh, yeah. So it's passion fruit because I was like, I don't really like passion fruit. So that's why I was hesitant about getting it, but it was really good. You can barely taste it. So, yeah.
Okay, so wait, was the other one grapefruit then?
I think it was because we had the Chi Chi and I can't remember the other one.
There's one that's pomegranate, but that's champagne.
Is there
No.
one where there's one with bourbon in it, right?
That's the Bowery Honeybee Bourbon
That's
Honey
what
Syrup
we got.
Citrus
Yes. The
Scotch.
honeybee.
What's in that one?
Bourbon Honey Syrup Citrus Spritz of Scotch.
Yes. That one was good too.
That was really good.
Yes, good drinks. And then the rest of our party had wine and they seemed to enjoy that.
Mhm. It was a very nice, eventful Friday.
It was. Oh, and I got a $75 mask.
Let me tell you. So I was like, me and Christy was saying like, oh, we should get the mask or whatever. So I asked the girl and I said, can you bring over the mask? You know, if we wanted to buy one. So she said, well, the mask is $75. I instantly was like,
Yeah, at first I was like, oh,
yeah. So the mask that I actually wanted, she didn't have, but I also thought that they looked a little different. But I just felt like $75 was a lot. But Christy got a very, very, very nice mask for $75, and I think it's going to go very well on all of her trips. She's going to be glammed and blinged out, and it's going to be real cute.
Yes, I only got it because I didn't pay for it.
Huh?
So I only got it because I didn't pay for it. If I had to pay for it, nah. I'm sure I can find it on Etsy or wherever.
You're going to post it on our Instagram.
Yeah, when I wear it, I definitely will. It's a special occasion mask. I mean, as it should be for $75.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yes. So I forgot the question. I'm sorry. What's the question?
How you plan on living the 1,000 life this month?
No, that was the second question. What was the first question?
The first question was, it's been 4
Oh,
months.
it's been a year, or the year recap or something. How we feeling about COVID? Okay. Thank you. So actually during my Black Women in the Workplace, that was like a full circle moment for me. Just recording that because it has been a year since I decided that I wanted to move. Not careers, I'm still in the same agency. But I needed to try something new. And I think I talked about it here, but last year when COVID started, it couldn't have been at a more perfect time for me, honestly. And I don't feel guilt about saying that. I understand that COVID has been very hard for many people, including myself. But for me, it's been hard because it's been challenging, and it was exactly what I needed. Just thinking about my last part, it's 4 parts, as I said earlier. So the first part is Black Herstory, which focuses on the history of Black women in labor. The second part is Her Health and Wellness, which focuses on how our history impacts our health and wellness and influences how we show up in the workplace. The third part is accountability to her, which is, how our supervisors, management, and organizations can be accountable to Black women and making safe spaces for us where we feel valued and heard. And then the fourth one is self accountability. So it's about her accountability. So how can we hold ourselves accountable, right? Because I never forget my frat brother, he was talking about relationships, but when I was in college, he told me, he was like, Roach, specifically, he was talking about a certain relationship, and he was saying, a man is only going to treat you how you allow. And I always have held that. Shout out to JD and all of our, military that are out there still serving in the COVID, away from their families, and, having to quarantine on ships, not being able to get off ships. And that's just a whole nother thing that they're experiencing and their families are experiencing. But the same thing is applicable to our lives, right? Your friend's only going to treat you how you allow. Your job's only going to treat you how you allow. And last year, this time, I was really, I was going through a breakdown, honestly. And it was just very tough. So the last episode, the person that I work with, who is Tilco, she's a licensed therapist or counselor. Sorry, she's a licensed counselor. And I just think about how prior to last March, for whatever reason, like she and I had gotten really close at the job. And she and another woman just kind of started to pour the therapy into me. So like the first woman, she wasn't able to record, but she dropped nuggets to me. Like she was like, something about your spirit is very heavy. And she was like, I feel like you're just so heavy. And then Teal would always follow up with like her experience, I guess, as a licensed counselor, and why therapy is so good and all these types of things. And so it's because of them that I went into therapy, just them talking to me about that. And so it was full circle for me to end on her accountability, because this past year for me has really been about self accountability, and specifically just putting myself first, um, and doing what it is that I need to do. So that was a really good moment. So I would say right now I am trying. I'm celebrating that. I'm celebrating the growth. I'm celebrating, just all of the accomplishments, just all the things that I've been able to get done. I know people have been like, girl, you've been doing a lot, during COVID. And just think about like, these are things that I have wanted to do for a number of years, and I haven't been able to do it for, because I'm ripping and running to do this for this person, or, fear, like Courtney was saying, in terms of just like, when that there's more for you, you have to rise to that occasion. And sometimes that comes with fear, or, just over dedicating myself to a job or to projects or to people. So yeah, that's why I am getting a lot of stuff done, because it's just me right now. And I have appreciated that time. At the same time, while I'm celebrating the progress, I'm also sitting here trying not to go crazy, because like Christy, like, I travel a lot. And so, I'm happy to have this home where I have several rooms. I can go walk in, I'm not locked up in some type of facility, because I don't know how they're doing it. Like I don't know how they're doing it at all. You know what I mean? I really don't. And I'd be interested to see stats about like suicide and, just increased anxiety, depression, anything for anyone who is in some sort of facility. Just not being able to have access, whether it's a, behavioral health facility where you normally can go on walks or whatever, you don't have access to that, whether it's, you just need to be out with people, you don't have access to that, whether you are in a correctional facility where you're already in a box 23 hours a day, if you're in a max facility, or, just in other, so you don't get a lot of time out. Just, I don't even know how they're dealing with that, because, I'm happy the weather's better, because I was definitely starting to break, honestly, because I'm not here with, I live by myself, and that's really hard. Like, that's really hard. My goddaughter, one Sunday, she actually asked, she was like, I really like your house, and, we're talking about it and everything. And she was like, but God, mommy, do you get lonely? And I was honest with her. I told her, yeah, like that is a real, that's my reality. But I also told her, I don't want a roommate. So while yes, there are times when I do get lonely, there are benefits to living by yourself. And we talked about some of those things. She was like, yeah, because you don't have to buy food for nobody else. I was like, yep, I don't got to buy food for nobody else. I don't have to consider anyone else. My sheets can be folded the way I like them to be folded. You can kind of make your own decisions when you don't have to share space. I said, even like, I can decorate how I want to decorate because I don't have to consider someone else doesn't like this color or doesn't like this scheme, right? This is all me up in here. Um, um, but yeah, it definitely does get lonely. But as I said, my next roommate will be my husband. And our kids and maybe a dog. So what'd you say?
You said you got two dogs already, but that's here nor there.
Yeah, apparently, yeah, my neighbors, if they watch this, hey y'all, the little woman over there, she has her own voice and she has found her voice and she's not afraid to use it. Yeah, so I would say that would be the year recap for me. And summer to Christy, how I'm living on 1,000 this month is everything I do is on 1,000. Like just to be honest, there's not something that I'm focused on like particularly this month. And part of that is because, as I said, this whole situation that we're in quarantine has really been about accountability. So once I reach one milestone, it's more like milestones for me, which don't go by months because when I think about it like that, it creates anxiety because I'm a task oriented person. And so for me, it's just like, I wanted to focus on rest. Like, so once I felt like, okay, I was rested, then now I'm focused on, okay, what things need to be done. So that's why I'm getting my home projects done, which are done. I'm happy to say that for the most part. My business is growing, so I'm really happy about that. I have new clients, new services. So there's that. I started working out, as I told you all, very recently, so I'm incorporating that. I'm hoping that I can continue. They have 2 classes, which are virtual, Christy. So it's $125 a month, and you get access to all the classes, which are 2 times a day. So you can do 6 a.m. or 6 p.m. And then I think some people have watched recordings too. So so there's that option as well. I do the virtual classes because it is COVID, and I did do one in person, but if I can do stuff at home where I feel safer, uh, then I'll do that. So right now, that's my focus. My focus is trying to maintain the 6 a.m. class, which I just did I did my first today. I'm going to continue to do that because at some point we are going to have to go back to the office. And I need to start my day with myself and pouring into myself. And if I do 6 p.m., from what I know is I can get caught up in my work and then I'm missing the class. And now I have not poured into myself, but I'm trying to create habits that will stick regardless of if I'm at home or wherever. So that will continue to be my focus. I finished the D-herb cleanse. I would definitely recommend it for people. It's really healthy. It's really nutritional. Um, I definitely need to prepare more next time because I was not prepared. Y'all saw me posting on the 1,000 Club. I was not prepared to, the raw food. Like they have meals, but I'm not in a place where I am able to like fully meal prep in that way, to really understand like the quick meals that I can do. Like right now I can do tuna fish and some crackers. Can't do that on the herbs. So learning that. So I'm gonna try it again later in the year. But I did lose some pounds. That was good. And it also taught me just about myself, in terms of nutrition and the fact that I don't eat the majority of the day. And so now I do. I have 3 meals a day. I'm working up to snacks, but that's pretty much it. Also, while I have this, on 1000, I do want to shout out because I'm DC down today. So I have this shirt which says "Pray and Slay," and it's by a DC owned brand that I got from a Black business pop up shop maybe a couple years ago. On our next episode, you'll see another one because I have the Chocolate City one on. These earrings are by the Glam Station. You all see me post them quite a bit if you follow me personally on my Bossy Quad page. She sells like accessories and things like bags, earrings, sunglasses. And then this turban, velvet turban, is also the Glam Station. And both owners of both businesses are DC natives. So shout out to DC.
Shout out to DC and shout out to the 6 a.m. classes. Yes, yes. I'm rooting for you, girl, because those classes are hard in the beginning, but once you get in it, you get in it.
Yeah, the good thing is I don't have to walk anywhere. I just come downstairs. So that's good. Oh, and Christy, you talked about Megan's body yaddy yaddy. That has been my ringtone for like I guess since the song came out. My alarm ringtone. So that has also helped motivate me because Megan motivates me. I don't know about y'all, but Megan motivates me. Like she's definitely my girl crush. Like, yes, like Megan.
She is all up and through my workout playlist. So yes.
Okay, yes, like, and so when I'm in Jamaica, understand the body yaddy will be given. Okay, thank you.
I'm trying to do the dance, but it's not working.
This ends my update. God bless everyone. God bless America, and God.
Good night. I'm done. How am I feeling about it? I think I talked about it before. Last 2020 was like, for many reasons, my breakdown year. So 2021 is my breakthrough year, is what I've been calling it. Just because, I think similar to what Rashana said, COVID kind of hit at a time where I needed to sit with my shit, as I like to say, and sit with myself. So it was really good to get to that, and really take some time to start pouring and digging into me. I don't want to say pouring in because I don't know if I was pouring in. Faye would say yes, I was, but I would say more of just getting to know who I am as a person, as a woman, and all of those things. So on the other side, I don't want to say on the other side of COVID, but 2021 has definitely been a year of trying to invest in myself more, really trying to make sure that I am not just putting myself first, but advocating for myself. So advocating for, a higher salary at work, which I will be doing along with some other things. So y'all pray for that. Advocating for myself in terms of, just putting myself first and foremost, always ensuring that I am not putting myself in situations where I feel compromised or I'm upset that I am there. I am learning the power of no. So that has been really, really good. I would also say the first part of this year, I turned 31. So I'm on the other side of 30 now. I feel like I've joined the crew on the other side of 30.
I don't know why she's so freaking dramatic. Like,
What's funny? Okay, side note. So when Mariah Carey got her COVID shot, she was super dramatic. And I was like, oh, that is so me. That is so me. But yes, on the other side of 30, I would say 31, this year, I am really looking forward to being more open and honest and upfront about who I am, what I do, and being unapologetic about that. Whether you like it, whether you don't like it, whether it makes you uncomfortable, it's not about you, it's about me. So I am definitely doing that in 2021. I will say I am a lot more, like Chrissy said, optimistic about this year. I think last year was really hard, for many reasons. I also live by myself, but I also live in the city. So while I live by myself, I don't really live by myself because there are people, there are animals, there are roosters at the mosque next door. There's just a lot of things, a lot of things happening in Newark. So while last year was really hard, this year I feel a lot more optimistic about a lot of things, particularly a lot of things I want to do in my life. So how I am living on 1000 in April, I'm being more honest. and open. I'm 1,000% myself. So I'm gonna be like, fuck that. I don't care. I am going to do me. Um, I'm pouring into me. I'm taking a solo trip this month, so I'm super excited about that. So stay tuned on some updates and really just investing in my growth, whether it be professional, personal, health, all of that. So that's what I'm doing.
One of the things that we talked about this week, so I hope you don't mind mentioning,
That's fine.
is as y'all know, Courtney and I talk every day. And so Courtney was saying that she has finally decided that her goal is to buy a house by 35. And I thought that that was just like so great to hear her say that. Um, because I imagine that sometimes it can be difficult when with anything, you know what I mean? When you're seeing everyone else is doing this and you feel like, oh, I'm supposed to be doing this also, you know? And sometimes like we rush ourselves, you know, to like to keep up with the Joneses, as they say. And so I was just really proud of you for coming to that conclusion, and that your conclusion, yes, it might include like it will take me 4 years to get my finances together, but it was, at least how you expressed it to me, was really about like, because you want to live life, and you might like you're not in a place right now where you want to sacrifice the life that you want to live right now, you know what I mean, to do that. And home ownership will always be there, you know. And so I just really am proud of you, and I've been thinking about that conversation uh um since we had it, and I know that that is tremendous growth for you. So shout out to you.
I like that you brought that up because I do think, like, especially with social media, there is a pressure to like do certain things. Like you see people buying homes or getting married or having children. And so you feel like, oh, should I like, is this what I should be doing also? And so I like that you shared that, like, you want to live life. And I feel you. Like I've shared earlier this year, I wanted to buy another property. And I think now I'm like, I don't know that I want that anymore because it's a lot of work. Like it's a lot of work and I'm already living in a home that I feel like is a lot of work. And so I'm just like, you know what? I I don't feel I can put my investments in other places. I could still invest in real estate without having an actual property. I think it's something I still want to do, but I don't think I have the same like deadline anymore. I really don't even have a new deadline. I'm just being open. But I also like just a transparency, like I'm iffy about children, right? Like I'm like, I'm good on that. But then, like, I don't know, maybe in the future I might want children because I very much like that I can wake up and do whatever the heck it is that I want to do and not have to worry about taking care of another little human. Like, I very much like that. I like that my husband and I could be like, we're going to go to Vegas next month, or we're going to go to Indianapolis next week, or we're going to go this weekend. Like, I like that ability to just come and go as I please. And I think for a while I thought like, oh, well, when you get married, like that's what you do. You have a child, right? And I'm fortunate that I have met a lot of women who are married. I've met a lot of women who are not married, that are older than myself or around the same age, who don't have children. And they are fine with that, and they are living their best lives. And I very much see myself along that lines. Like I could be, I don't have any like biological nieces, but I could definitely be like, hopefully the rich auntie. I could definitely be the fun auntie. I already have godchildren, and we go and do all the fun things that their parents may
Yeah.
not want to do, or just
And
like,
you also have me, you know, myself in there.
yes, like I already have three godchildren, which are amazing. They make me feel like so loved and special. And I just don't feel that desire to like have a child.
Do that
Maybe,
full time.
yeah, maybe it will kick in, but I also kind of feel like I'm gonna be 35 this year. I just don't know that I want to be that older parent. I just don't know that I want to be that.
Yeah.
But I like that you said that, like, I think we set these goals for ourselves thinking that we have to do things along a certain timeline. And it's not that way. There's a lady who, whenever she sees me, she's like, "Oh, like, are you pregnant yet? Are you gonna have, like, when are you gonna have kids?" And I'm like, "No. If I want to have them, I have time." Like, we are so far advanced in science, medicine, fertility, like all of that.
Yeah.
If I do want to have them at freaking 45, I don't know if my body is able to do it. But if I wanted to, I
But
could.
somebody's body yachty can do it.
Exactly. So I just, I appreciate that you brought that up, Rashana, even though Courtney may have not brought it up.
Okay, it's okay. Y'all know I'll be open book, so if you share anything about me, I'll be like, fine, I don't care.
But yeah, I love that. Like, that you are, like, that you're not being pressured by your peers or social media into, like, I got to make this happen, when you may not be ready to do it financially or just whatever. You just want to live life.
And I will say, I had that, was having a conversation with a friend of mine, and she was just asking me why. And the reason was, I just felt like I had to. And if you know me, I've lived in the city my entire life. I never really had the urge to own a home, but I kind of felt like it was something, like Chrissy said, something I was supposed to do. So I'm definitely excited to just kind of like experience life. I've never took the time to just boldly say, fuck it, I'm doing what I want to do. And it goes against the status quo of what you're supposed to be doing, quote unquote, in your 30s. So the moral of the story is, guys, fuck it. Go against the status quo. Do what you want to do. Be bold and do it.
Yeah, I like that you said, well, not that I like, but I think that same question about like when you're gonna get pregnant also applies to the question about, like, for me, when are you gonna get a man?
Yeah.
And I have really been, as this is about self-accountability, I'm holding everybody accountable, okay? So everyone has been put on notice, and if you have not, please know that this is your notice right here. Don't ask me about when I'm going to get a husband. Don't ask me about when I'm going to get a man. Unless you're coming to me with options, come to me with the full inventory, a selection, because clearly whatever I'm doing or not doing, this is where I'm at. You know what I mean? And so it's not, it is what it is. It's going to happen whenever it is going to happen. There are a plethora of reasons why I'm single. We talk about them all the time. Like, I just have not met the right person. There's also things that I have had to like work out, within myself. And if I'm going to be honest, some of the people asking me are people who have caused me to have to work out the shit that I got to work out. So it's like, it's like, so yeah, no, I'm single because I'm still trying to get through the stuff that you put me through, and you passed down. So, so yeah, so I just wanted to add that there because I felt that in my soul. I felt angry for you. When that woman, when that woman continues, to ask you that, because yeah, I get that same question. And I understand why people ask it. For me, I can see why people ask it for you, maybe because, of the expectation of when you get married, like people think you're supposed to have kids. And then also maybe because of, the field that your husband is in. I think that like kind of comes with that whole thought process. And I get why people ask me, because I do have a desire to be married. So I don't want to come off as if I'm saying like, I don't have a desire to be married. I do have a desire to be to be a mom. I think that's like it's going to be one of the best accomplishments of my life. But I'm going to accomplish it when I'm going to accomplish it. I said what I said. Okay. So unless y'all is coming to me, I don't want to hear, Shauna, don't ask me why I'm single. Drop a link. Shout out to Brittany. I don't know if she watches this podcast, but I'm thankful to her because she just slid a little link in my inbox for what is it? For love, for ready for love on the show. And I appreciated that. And I know some people might think that that's funny or whatever, but you don't know how God is going to use and how you're going to find somebody. You know what I mean? Like you just never know. I was really, like you just never know. But I appreciate that someone would see that link and think of me to say, you know what, I know Rashana is ready for love, and this might be an option for her. This might be an opportunity for her. So y'all take a note from Brittany. Thank you, Mrs. Blackwell. All right. And do the same thing. That is all.
So the moral of the story is, for anyone out there, stop asking these goddamn questions, because the shit gonna happen when it's gonna happen. If she don't want to do it, she ain't gotta do it. If she want to do it when she wants to do it, she gonna do it when she wants to do it. Okay, your timeline is not her timeline. It's not my timeline. So stop asking these motherfucking questions and keep pushing. That's all I gotta say. Savage.
Period, Pooh.
I said you said it. Oh, okay. Um, I was so into the conversation. This was good.
I mean, maybe we might need to do that another whole nother episode.
Yes.
I need to bring that to an episode, but y'all let it.
Yes.
Maybe next month. This was a good conversation.
Oh, that might be good because next month we're doing a Mother's Day episode. So it might be interesting to actually just do like a real talk
Mm.
with our mamas.
You know what's funny? Just really quickly before we move on to the next segment, since you brought that up, me and my mother had this really interesting conversation, and she said she was listening to a sermon. She was listening to a sermon or something, and it was like about mothers and daughters and just the expectations they have in that. She was saying, the something about how, I can't remember exactly what she said, but she was basically like, you don't need a man to complete you. You don't need to find a man to be a great woman. You don't need to like finding a man is not the end all be all. And she really was like, I'm sorry that if I ever said that to you or made you feel like I kept asking you about when you're going to date or whatever, because I want you to be a whole woman on your own. I don't want you to feel like you need a man to complete you. And I was very appreciative of that. But I did tell her, like, sis, you was thugging for a minute. So
yeah.
So, we have that conversation. I'm definitely gonna bring that up.
And a lot of that is generational too, right? Like I feel like my mom is not really pressuring me around like marriage. And that's probably because my mom did not get married till she was later. But I do know that she wants grandkids. My dad and I just had the conversation this week, and I want to give them grandkids, but I'm also, based on the examples that I've seen, I also would like it to happen a certain way, even though I'm not married, quote unquote, to that way, right? Like I don't have to be married. I also know that some of that comes from just my fear of commitment. You know what I mean? So I would like to be married and in a committed relationship, before I decide to procreate. Um, I decide to procreate with someone. So yeah, but parents, they want what's best for us. They also understand the things that they have, their experiences and things that they've gone through, and sometimes they pass certain things on to us unknowingly, that might have been beneficial for them in that age and that day and time. The same way as like, three of us can laugh at Martin all day, but I'm sure like Generation Z watching Martin would find it very problematic. Like that was something that was good for them then that doesn't necessarily work now, especially when we don't even have a slow jam session in the club. For the man to be like, excuse me, miss, can we go out to the dance floor and he can introduce himself? We don't even have that. Just bringing it full circle, So different things have been lost, and the game, life, everything has changed.
Yes, yes. This was good, ladies.
Yeah, it's a good place to end, especially because our next episode, we're gonna have some guests, and we're gonna have some testosterone in the room. So
Bring the men into the 1000 Club. So y'all definitely don't want to miss that, I'm sure. If you are a lady 1000 Clubber. Yeah, we're gonna get the male perspective on some things. So I'm looking forward to that.
Nice.
Yeah, so we are going to move on to our on 1000 segment. And I'm just going to keep it real simple. Who or what is your Rashana is like, yes, no hard questions. Who or what is your on 1000? I'll start. I am going to highlight Miss Portia Williams. What's her name?
At Portia for real.
No, no, what was her bachelorette party name?
Peach juice.
Peach Juice. Yes, Miss Peach Juice. And Portia always be on 1000. That's why I love her. Like, if there is anybody from, I think, the RHOA franchise that I would want to hang out with, it is Miss Williams. But I'm highlighting her because if you watch Real Housewives, you know what's going on. I mean, that's all they talk about is Bolo and Kenya's pursuit to figure out who did what with Bolo.
That
And
ain't her pursuit. Kenya's pursuit is to put someone on blast because she feels like she's been wrong. Kenya is vengeful. Her
mm,
pursuit is she wants to bring Portia down the way she felt Portia has brought her down in the past.
mhm,
Because this is ridiculous.
it
Bye.
is. But in the last episode, spoiler alert, if you have not seen it, the ladies, they are in New Orleans and they had a cooking lesson with Big Frida. As a side note, we're gonna go ahead and put Big Frida on 1000 because Big Frida be on 1000. Okay.
Yes. Okay.
On 1,000.
Especially around Christmas time. Frida, Frida, Frida.
Like,
Have to figure out how to get her on the show one day.
exactly. We need to go down to New Orleans and do it though. We need to have like an in
What'd she
person.
say? No, what is it? What she say? Something no. She was saying it on the show.
The no. Oh, here's no.
No, it's something no. It's something no.
I don't
She
know.
said it on the show, remember?
Or Real Housewives? Or
Yeah, and or something like that.
yeah, I think so. I don't watch the cooking show, so I don't know what the phrase is. But
I don't know either, but I know.
anyway, so they had this cooking lesson with Big Frida, and they're sitting down eating, and Portia and Marlo had already had a conversation earlier in the day to hash out whatever what was going on with them, pretty much, and how Marlo has befriended Kenya again. Anyway, so they're at the table and Marlo was tripping. Like, she was tripping, calling them fake bees and just whatever. I guess because she feels like Portia lied to her. And anyway, I am highlighting her because the way that Portia has grown, like Portia could easily slap Marlo the way she was saying, like the way that she was acting. Like she was just doing the most. And even though like Portia, she said what she said, like she handled that moment very well. And
Yeah.
she has grown. She has really grown. So just shout out to her because there has been a lot of growth
Yes.
from her while being on this show. And she really is like the front runner of the show right now. She has the Bravo chat room. She just got signed by the United Talent Agency. That's major. Like they represent some of the major like artists and entertainers and like media influencers in the world. So she is doing the thing. Like I'm really, you've seen what she's done with the protests, Breonna Taylor, and how she's keeping her name alive. And she's just grown. So, girl, you on 1000. If I would just love to party with her. I just would love to because
Yes.
she's so much fun. But yeah, shout out for growth. And I feel like that's what we all want for our lives, right? To grow, to continue to get better. Maybe Miss Kenya Moore will get there one day, but
Kenya's not gonna get there because she doesn't know. Kenya doesn't know. I think it's ridiculous that Kenya continues to try to push this. At the same time, I understand because Kenya's the type of person, she's an unforgiving person. And even though like we see her in seasons making up, like we saw at the beginning of last season where we thought that she was making up with Portia, she's going to Pilar's birthdays and stuff like that. Kenya she really is unforgiving. And a lot of that you can see stems from her childhood, that she has some things that are probably very hard to forgive, and she take things so personally. So even when you think she's moved on, so Marlo, if you're watching this is something to you. And I know people don't like Kenya, but I actually do like Kenya. I think she's good for the show. And I have been there, admittedly, where I can be very vengeful, and I don't forget how people make me feel, period. And so I think that people need to watch when they're befriending Kenya, because while she can be cool with you, she still, in her mind, is calculating. Remember that time 5 years ago, 6 months, 3 days when you said this? I've been waiting to get back at you. You know what I mean? And that's really problematic. Huh?
When's she gonna do that with Marlo then? Like, why get
I
back?
think she is gonna do that with Marlo. Yeah, that's why I said Marlo has to be careful, because while I think that they're friends now, the minute Marlo does something, and it could be something small, right? It could be, she serves crab and everybody said they wanted a chicken option, and Marlo said, oh, well, I would have liked the chicken option, right? Something so simple will bring Kenya back to all the times Marlo told her that your mama didn't want you, no man wants you, and because Kenya really struggles with deservingness herself, like she gonna come back at Marlo. Like, that's the problem with Kenya. Like, Kenya doesn't know how to let go. And Kenya, as a person, like I said, who has struggled with that, you really gotta find it. You really gotta find a way to let go. You do not deserve to carry that bag. Let them carry that bag and be done. And Portia, if you slept with Bolo, I'm not saying you got to tell us, because what you do is your business, and I'm not judging you for sleeping with Bolo, because I mean, life is about experiences, and you should have that. You should have that if you did, because even though you said you was engaged, you really wasn't engaged. So you should be able to do exactly whatever you want to do, and that's it. That's it. My only issue is that Portia, if you did and you keep saying you didn't versus just saying I don't want to talk about it, then you lying. And I don't feel like that's on 1,000. But yes, girl, shout out to you for restraint, because I would have slapped Marlo. I probably would have been slapped Kenya too for being all in my business.
If she did it, if she's saying she didn't, I really don't even fault her for that, because it's her business. Like,
but that's why I would just say, but I wouldn't lie about it. Like, I feel like if I did something and y'all asked me about it, I'm not going to say I didn't. I'm going to just say that's none of your business.
I think there probably might be legal reasons why both of them can't speak on it. Like, they can't admit it.
Maybe.
Well, you don't have to admit it. You can just say that's none of your business, because that's the truth. The truth is not I didn't do it if you did do it. The truth is it's none of your business. I don't have to talk about it with you, period.
Well, we're going to see at the reunion. Maybe she'll give us a little bit more, but
I think Tanya was right there. If it wasn't her, Portia might have watched, and Tanya had herself.
Since you mentioned Tanya, shout out to Tanya too, because Tanya be making some money moves, okay? Like, and after all of that Bolo stuff, she was like, you know what? I don't need this. Like, y'all, I got money. I'm just a friend of the show anyway. So, whatever. Bye.
I agree with you there.
Courtney, who's your person?
Before I say who my person or people are, I'm gonna shout out my daddy turned 71 on Saturday.
Yay! Shout out to Papa G.
Yeah, shout out to my dad. 71, still biking miles and miles and trying to stay fit. So shout out to him for still pushing and keeping it going. I would like to shout out on 1000. Really quickly, I did a Women in Justice podcast series that I will be releasing this weekend. One of my guests was the executive director of the Women's Community Justice Alliance that focuses on women who were formerly incarcerated at Rikers Island and supporting them in the community. I joined a task force meeting. I joined the task force. We had our first meeting yesterday. And one of the things that they are trying to do is, if you don't know, there are 300 women who are still on Rikers Island, and they are the last population to be released from Rikers Island. All of the men will be leaving before them, and their expected date of release is 2027. So they are fighting to change that. So shout out to those women who are continuing to push the work forward, continuing to advocate and stand up for what's right. So they're on 1,000.
Yes,
Yes.
Roshana.
Yeah, so my person is actually Candy, for the same situation because I would love to hang out with Portia because Portia is fun. Like, but Candy is the person that I would pick as a mentor because Candy gets the money, okay? And she knows how to get the money that keeps get on giving. Um, and so I want to shout out Candy because regardless of whatever she knows about the situation, she reminds me the most of myself. That's just like, it's not my business. It's not my business to share, and who cares? Like, what happened happened, and that it is what it is. Like, you ain't supposed to be out here running your mouth and doing all these things. And I'm with her. Portia, just be quiet. Tell people it's not their business and shut up. Don't keep indulging it. You know what I mean? Like, because it really is nobody's business, whatever you decide to do. Okay. Or whatever you decide not to do. Like, it is nobody's business. And I really just appreciate Candy for just reminding us of that every single time, especially given that, her and Portia do have a rocky background, but she hasn't said anything. So shout
Real
out to
quick, before you close, I forgot to shout out my earrings. They are bamboo with rose quartz around them. And they are from my cousin Candace. I've worn, I think, many of her earrings before, but she is Adisa Handcrafted. That's Adisa Handcrafted.
I'm about to go order those. Those are cute.
I
Yeah,
don't
those
know if
are
she
cute.
has another pair. I think I bought her last pair, but ask her if she'll make you one because I think she can
Are
custom.
they light?
Yeah, they're pretty light.
Mm-hmm.
They're not that heavy. But yeah, as soon as I saw them, I was like, because she said she only had one pair, I was like, oh girl, I'm about to order them right now. They're so cute.
Yeah, they are
Yes.
really cute.
Shout out to Candace Adisa Handcrafted.
Yeah, I took some special photos highlighting her earrings. I wore them for one of my looks in my photo shoot, and
Oh,
specifically
nice.
took some photos like that.
Oh, you
Made
didn't talk
sure.
about your photo shoot.
Oh, it's okay. We'll talk about the next time because I wanted to wait until the pictures are released.
Okay.
There's a method to my madness.
Got you. Got you.
Don't hate. Don't hate. Don't hate. Don't hate. Well, ladies, this has been such a great discussion. We are going to release this episode for you all's listening, and you're watching, and you can catch our next episode on April 22nd or anytime after that, whenever you decide to take your daily or weekly, intake of the 1000 Club podcast. Remember to follow us on all social media handles. We are on Facebook and Instagram at 1000 Club Life. You can listen to us as always on Apple, Spotify, Anchor, and you can watch us on YouTube and Facebook. Please like, subscribe, follow, and leave a review. Leave questions, leave episode topics, because we are trying to grow our tribe, and our tribe includes you. So, thank you all for listening to another episode. This has been the 1000 Club Podcast, episode 15.
Woo!
Shout out to us. Peace.
Peace out.